Hey you, don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out so much. Also, if you like more of the fashiony side of my content and want to get more personal with me, make sure to go ahead and follow me on Instagram. So head on over and don't forget to show me some love.
Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking risks to be alive. The risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We create an image of what we should be in order to be accepted by everybody else. We especially try to please the ones who love us, like mom, dad, big brothers, sisters, the peers, and the teacher. Trying to be good enough for them, we create an image of perfection. But we don't fit this image. We create this image, but this image is not real. We are never going to be perfect from this point of view. Never. You know, I've never really been that person that has just naturally believed in my potential wholeheartedly. I feel like I've always kind of struggled with that. I feel like I've always been hopeful, and this hope has gotten me through so much in my life, just hoping for better, hoping for change. I feel like I knew I would eventually get there, but there's always like that gray area of disbelief, if you know what I mean. Did I actually believe I would ever actually get there and get out of this ongoing cycle that I could not see my way out of for so many years? So because of that, I actually did a lot of self-sabotaging unknowingly. I would stop myself from getting there because facing the chances of failure when I actually tried versus the saying, I didn't really fail because I never really tried, was my life motto for so many years without realizing it. I realized working on myself, I woke up one day and was just like, you know what? I don't have to live this life. I can receive change and I deserve change. And I feel like ever since that moment, my life has changed. I realized I can be the woman that I've always seen in me, and it's totally okay to romanticize my life. So obviously in this video, we're gonna talk about how to romanticize your life. Probably gonna touch this very differently like I do almost every topic. When it comes to changing your life, especially if you've come from a really, really heavy background and you've had to deal with a lot of things through life, I try to come from that perspective because personally, that's my story. I understand fully that this transition is not easy, and it's actually made to be not easy. Certain things are put in place to keep us where we are if we don't recognize that. This is a very hard transition, but it can be done. And I just want everyone watching this video that if you're trying to get from where you are right now to a different place in life that you've desired and you see for yourself, you can do it. And I'm just walking proof that it can be done. You don't have to stay in the same situation you grew up in or a situation you have found yourself in currently. That doesn't have to be your entire story. It can stop today, right now, and you can start the process of changing. And one of the things I did to really, really help me is romanticizing my life. I think there's so many things you can do to romanticize your life. The first step I want to talk about in romanticizing your life is falling truly in love with yourself. This has to be the first thing you do. You have to have a good relationship with yourself in order to start this journey. And I feel like a lot of people just jump right over that. Knowing who you are is power. Knowing your strength is truly powerful. And knowing your abilities is life changing. Think about this. How could you become this person you see if you don't even know the part of you that got you there? There's so many ways to get to know yourself. Personally, this journey was the hardest for me, but the one I'm most grateful for. Because I know who I am, I just don't let things happen to me anymore. I just don't find myself in situations that could have been avoided based off my own insecurities and reacting out of a place of trauma. Things just don't happen like that for me anymore because I know who I am. the things I want, the things I will and will not put up with, and I'm able to detect if a situation is not for me before it even happens. So I'm able to keep my peace for a lot longer. So how you can do this is spending time alone. Spend time alone. I'm not saying drop everybody in your life. If you need to do that because they're not good for you, I understand. Just spend more time by yourself. Figure out things that make you truly happy. Get to know yourself on a deeper level, learning about your desires, making yourself get into an uncomfortable situation alone, going to yoga classes, going to workout classes alone, going on hikes alone, going on walks alone, going to the movie alone, just spending time with yourself so you're able just to have you, your thoughts, and that's it. Go sit in a park and read a book under a tree by yourself. Just go do things that you would normally bring people with you by yourself. During that process, really appreciate that alone time. And whatever comes up during that alone time, allow it to be. Another thing is go on a solo trip. I have not done this yet, but it's definitely something I'm planning in the works to do, is just going on a trip by myself. I feel like traveling by yourself is such a test, even if you're driving 2 hours out of town, or if you're going to the next state over, staying within the United States, or wherever you are, just going over to the next city, just getting out of what you're used to and putting yourself in an uncomfortable environment by yourself is what I mean. You will learn so much about yourself in that time, and make that time intentional. Test yourself, get to know yourself, and work on some of those insecurities you've been holding on to. And just make sure it's a time of peace and it's really enjoyable. Don't make it too stressful to where you're like, I can't do this. Just go, enjoy yourself, find peace in every moment, try to be really, really grateful for the moment, and just do things that you truly enjoy. Another thing I like to do, I don't do this every single day. It's not possible. I'm not a perfect human being, but I try to give my best self to myself first before I give it to anybody else at the start of my day. Whether that's writing in my journal, meditating, doing a morning stretch, going on a long walk in the morning, or sitting on the couch watching YouTube videos. Whatever that time is for me to just relax before I give the utmost energy to everybody else, so I don't feel completely depleted and drained at the end of the day. This is something that's really, really important. The process of loving yourself and every part of yourself, even the not so good side of yourself, is facing that. It's just a part of the self-love journey. You know, doing shadow work. If you don't know what shadow work is, it's just kind of facing that side of you that maybe holds on to trauma, a space you react out of when you're insecure, things you're holding on to that may cause you to self-sabotage, just that kind of darker side of yourself that can really consume all of you if you let it. And a part of loving yourself and going on that self-love journey is facing that and working on that to your best ability. So if you have any past trauma, anything that you need to let go or forgive somebody for, this is one of the things that will give you the most peace. And I can just tell you from my personal journey that I didn't feel personal peace until I could accept this part of myself, work on it, learn why I'm this way, where this stuff comes from, and why I reacted out of this place in certain situations, and how I can correct it in the future. These things have such an effect on how your life will turn out if they're not dealt with. That alone can hold you back from so much of your gifts and your blessings, and you don't even know it's happening. And how I do it is, if you can afford it, if you can look into it, a therapist, 100%. Getting an outside perspective has been life-changing. I feel like there's so many resources out there. People who write books, blogs, videos that give such good advice that you can get for free to start this process. Don't let anything live within you that might take away things that are meant for you. Just know you deserve so much more than that. A good place to start in this area is a journal prompt I want to give you guys, and you can try to write it out. Write about who are you and what are you most excited about yourself. And if it takes you a while to write, to think of who you are, that's okay. What are things you love about yourself? What are things that make you excited about yourself? What are qualities you admire about yourself? And just make it a love letter to yourself. Really just get into it. Give yourself like free time, an hour. Make sure you don't have anything before and after, and start there, and then continue on this self-love process. So I just made my afternoon protein shake, my first snack of the day, which is a protein shake. And I wanted to show you guys this new protein that I have been using and loving. It's so soft, so creamy, so light, and it doesn't overpower my shakes. And over the past couple of months, I've tried several different proteins. Ever since Ritual sent me this, I keep finding myself coming back to this, and I love it. So I just want to thank Ritual for partnering with me on this video. I just love everything about this company, and the fact that they're working with me. Just a full circle moment, because me and my mom were so obsessed with their vitamins. It's a no-brainer for me to work with them, just because I've already done so much research with them. I've tested out their product. I've recently switched back to their vitamin, and I've been using their protein, and I just have to tell you guys about it because it's so good. So I have their essential protein vanilla flavor. It is plant-based pea protein, free of soy, gluten, major allergens, vegan friendly, no artificial flavors, non-GMO, and it is third-party tested. It has a complete amino acid profile, which is really, really good, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. It's really, really good with how it's made, but also just the taste. Like, it's really, really hard, and I know, I'm sure you guys have run into this when it comes to protein and not taste chalky. You can taste this weird aftertaste in all your food. They do a really, really good job of making it smooth. So if you're looking for a good protein powder, definitely check this out. So the peas are actually farmed in the US by Ritual's manufacturer, which spoke volumes to me. Why I also love this, and something I've learned recently when studying about Ritual's protein, there is actually 9 amino acids that our body can actually produce on its own. And when a food contains all 9 of these in its adequate amounts, it's called complete. So this is a complete protein. That's just another thing I don't have to think about. Am I getting all my amino acids through my food? Because this is a complete protein, it kind of takes that worry away from me. They literally test every lot of protein. That isn't a requirement, but Ritual made that something that they did just so we can feel more comfortable in knowing where their products are coming from. Athletes go under crazy screenings for 250 banned substances, and what's cool is Ritual's protein actually passes that. So they really, really care about what is in their protein, what is in their products. Their protein also is tested for identity, purity, and strength. And all that means is what you see that is on the label is what you're getting in the actual product. I really, really love it. I'm going to drink my shake. It just, like, look at that. It looks so creamy, so good. So if you would like to try out Ritual's protein, which I highly recommend, especially if you're starting a new health journey, I do have a promo code for you. You can use code Alexis10 to get 10% off your first 3 months. I will have everything linked down below in the description box. Click that link, it'll take you right over there, make it super, super easy. And order your Ritual protein. You need to try this and let me know what you think. I feel like when you are more aware of the reaction your body has to certain things you're putting in your body, you can start to see what isn't for you and what is. I never really took this seriously or really truly understood when people said what you put in your body actually can affect you. I was like, so? I don't even know what that means, until I went through the process myself and how it affects my mental health, my physical health, and just my mood in general, and how productive I am on a daily basis. What you put in your body is ultimately who you are, what you're made up of, right? That is what you're giving yourself to fuel yourself on a daily basis, hopefully to show up as like the happiest and the best version of yourself. If you're consistently not feeling good, mentally or physically, you feel like you can't accomplish much, you feel like you can't think clearly, you don't have any energy to actually accomplish the things you want to accomplish in your life, have you ever looked at what you're putting in your body and thought about the fact that your body might not be agreeing with what you're fueling it with? So a way that I romanticize my life is I try to choose a healthier option more often than I don't, and I really, really try to take care of my health in every direction, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever it takes. So eating clean as much as I can really, really has been life-changing for me. And I know I talk about this all the time. Do I still eat pizza? Do I still go out? Do I still, go periods of time where I'm traveling and I'm not really thinking about eating healthy and I'm just kind of doing what I want? Of course, like, that is life. But if you're facing issues like you're feeling tired, fatigued, lazy, it could all be related to your gut health, your health in general, and what you're fueling your body with and what you're doing on a daily basis. And those things can really, really take a toll on you. Then that leads to anxiety and depression. So it's all like a one big circle. And when I realized that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's kind of the approach I take with eating healthy. So I just know my goal is to thrive. Like, I don't want to feel sick on the couch. I don't want to feel lazy on the couch, unproductive on the couch. I don't want to feel lethargic and sick on the inside after eating a meal. So because I know that, I look at eating healthy in a whole different light, and I do it to take care of myself so I can be the best version of myself. So one thing I do to help myself in this area is I'm always prepared, right? I always kind of prep my food, or I have an idea of what I'm gonna eat, just so that I can always lean towards a healthier option if I'm in a rush or working or busy or overwhelmed. I feel like I used to use that as an excuse, but being able to prep my foods stops me from that. So I enjoy now making my favorite recipes that I used to love that weren't so healthy. I still have those sometimes, but I try to figure out how to make those healthier so I can still enjoy it somewhat and it's not completely ripped away from me. I really made it into like a part of my life that I truly enjoy. I make it fun. I go to farmers markets now. This also helped me trust myself a lot more. It showed me that I can be disciplined in an area for a long period of time, which I never used to believe, and therefore that affected me reaching my goals in the past. It showed me that I have the strength to keep going even when I want to give up. It showed me that I can talk to myself positively and get myself through something I'm not particularly enjoying in the moment, but happy that I did it after. It showed me that I can be consistent in an area of my life, so therefore I can take that new trait that I've trained myself and take it to another area of my life. You're gonna be able to trust yourself, you're gonna be able to believe in yourself after, and you're gonna have so much more skills when it comes to discipline. So the next hurdle that comes in front of you, you're like, well, I did this journey and I got through it and I made it through. So when the next journey, which is opening your business or doing something that you really, really have always wanted to do, you're less scared because you've built trust. You're like, well, I did that and I got through it and I was consistent and I was committed and I did a great job. So I can do this over here as well. And it's such a beautiful way to romanticize your life. And it's something that I've learned this past year, and it's just been life-changing for me. For me to truly romanticize my life, I really had to build a confidence within my own abilities. I realized how crucial a natural sense of confidence truly, truly is. I definitely still struggle with this, but there was a time in my life where I had such low self-esteem, my confidence was at a 0, and I had so many insecurities built up that it started to control every aspect of my life, and everything that I did, it would come up. Of course, I've done my mental health work to realize where this is coming from. These insecurities we have are walls that we built around ourselves, literally laying one brick at a time every time someone hurt us. And then one day we had this wall and we don't even know that it's there holding us back because we got so used to living with it. Building confidence is not an easy thing. It takes time, and you miss out on so much of your life and opportunity because of a huge lack of confidence within yourself and your abilities and the way you even think about yourself. In order to elevate in my life, I knew this is something that needed to be addressed because a lot of this stuff comes from my past or trauma or things I've experienced. And I feel like I'm so used to living in a state of forced happiness that isn't real because I try to put on a mask so no one could really see that inside I'm not doing well or I'm actually not confident in this area. The second I started taking care of myself and building this confidence, I got to feel what real confidence feels like. I literally tried everything to fake confidence. I tried just not caring what people thought. I tried forcing myself and pushing myself to do it anyway. And don't get me wrong, sometimes that works, and sometimes you really do gotta fake it till you make it as you're working on building the confidence. But the only thing that truly worked, that helped me start building confidence, I just really gave myself everything. I just said, I'm going to give myself what I need at every level of my life, whether it be big or be small. And I didn't even know I was doing this, that I was confidence building at the time that I started. And it all started with my weight loss journey. And I know I talk about this all the time, but this truly made me realize how you build confidence. And it's because I was taking care of myself and giving myself everything. And I saw something not only physically change, but mentally change as well. And I saw it start to flow in other areas of my life. Things I used to be insecure about, I genuinely started being like, oh, that's not a big deal. I can actually do that. Automatically, my thoughts started to shift, which I've never experienced that before. I started to feel really confident without really having to try hard. basically I just slowly started building new skills. Not going out and learning something new, but within myself. So things like consistency, discipline, self-love, positive self-talk. I started working on these areas in my life heavily. So what it did ultimately is build the trust that I can do things. Showing myself I can complete things, complete huge goals over and over and over again is only building my confidence over time. If you're at a place where you have a lot of insecurities, how can you start addressing that from a place of love? How can you start looking at it as something that can be changed? It isn't something that you have to tie a negative feeling to forever. If you don't believe you can do something, you have to really dive deep and figure out where that is coming from and what thing can you do right now that you have the confidence to do that can show you in the future you're capable of doing like that something again. And over time, you just build this true trust with yourself that then turns into confidence. One of the last things I do to really romanticize my life is pushing myself to live a really, really exciting life. Exciting to me can be sitting on the couch with my favorite food, watching TV, or going out there and chasing the things that I want, living the life that I want, traveling the world, but just doing whatever truly excites me at all costs and not allowing anything, anyone, any situation or circumstance to hold me back. What are you really wanting? Like, what excites you? What brings you the most joy? When you picture yourself truly being the person you know you're meant to be, what is that person doing? Where are they at? Where are they going? Who are they around? What are the type of stuff that they're into? What do they do for fun? What are you doing that truly speaks to you and excites you to get up every single day and live this life to the fullest you have while you still can? I feel like I've lived so many years in a state of anxiety, and that's because I was either living in my past and letting things hold me back, which then caused me to self-sabotage. And I'd find myself in situations over and over and over again that I wasn't happy about. It was like a continuous cycle that I lived in. Or I'd find myself living in the future of what could be, what I could have, but I was never actually present in the moment. The past is the past. And I had to learn to really, really let that go. And I had to realize, like, what in my past caused me to react to certain situations this way. And once I realized where it was coming from, it was a lot easier for me to let that way of living go, because then I realized, oh, that is not for me at all. Just as much as you can get stuck in your past and it take over and show up in every brand new day that you have, you can do that same by living only in the future. Being stuck in hustle culture so much that you're like, I'm gonna work hard until I do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, just so I could be here. I think it's beautiful and it's great, and it's definitely something that I do, but sometimes I would only live in my future. Like, I would daydream so hard to the point where I was never present. I wasn't living. I missed the first half of my 20s by doing this. I was so desperate to get out of the place that I was in that I missed out on the life that was in front of me. And I wish I could go back and really take some moments in, even if my environment wasn't the greatest. I used living in my future instead of being present as a form of escaping, and it actually held me back a lot longer. I wasn't able to see clearly what I needed to do to even get to that place. I just was like, I'm gonna get there, with no action plan. Really, something I'm focusing on now is truly living in the moment. I think it's great to make goals. I think it's great to work on your past and work on letting it go, because it is a journey. But being present and grateful for where you are every single day is how you live an ultimate happy life, right? It's how you look back and be like, oh, I was so happy at that point. I may not have been where I wanted to be at that moment. I may not have been fully healed from my past, but I was actually happy working towards it. I was at peace. I saw things in a better light. I was no longer contributing to the negative self-talk. I was working on myself. I truly loved myself, and I was just at peace. So for me, is really being able to be in my present while knowing I have goals. There's things that I want to do, and every single day I will work towards getting there. There's no rush. Everything happens in divine timing anyway, and there's no rush, and no matter how fast I work at it, doesn't mean it's coming sooner. It's gonna come when it comes. I'm really focusing on enjoying even the small things in my life right now, and not everything has to be big, grand, and flashy, and appreciating everything that comes my way and realizing that big, grand, flashy thing that I want to happen for myself, these little things is what's making that. So trying to be grateful for even those things that I know I'm on my way and I'm building, that has brought me so much peace in everything I do. Making time for myself. There's so many things I've said in the past that I don't have time for. I possibly can't add this, or I can't do this, or I'm gonna skip over my me time today because I have a lot to do. I realized how detrimental that was to my mental health and how that actually affected me in the long run. So now I just don't do that. I always make sure that I make time for myself. I feel like my mental health has been such a big process of this journey, and why I'm finding this newfound happiness, confidence, and believing in myself and my own abilities like I never have before. Just get really, really excited about your own life. Stop thinking about what everybody else is doing around you. You can make your story into whatever you want it to be. It may be a lot harder to get to the place you want to be at because of where you're starting, but it doesn't mean you can't get there. I romanticize my life. From now on, I'm gonna do things that truly, truly make me happy, that make me feel loved and safe in every area of my life. Of course, I'm not gonna have perfect days, but I'm gonna do my best to show up. You get one life to live, and make it into what you want it to be. Stop listening to outward noise that doesn't matter at the end of the day. Do whatever it is that you want to do. Believe in yourself. Be about yourself. Back yourself when nobody else is. At least be in your own corner. So that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's time to address things and elevate in life. It's okay to be about yourself, romanticize your life, and do you, and feel confident enough to do so. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out. If it did, leave a comment down below. I literally read every single one. I go on my YouTube Studio app and I'm reading them. I love hearing about your guys' journeys and what you guys are changing. It helps actually encourage and motivate me as well. So I love you guys so much. Don't forget to check out Ritual. I'll leave everything linked down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.